What is up, everybody? It's me, Duke Farley, back at it again here, and I am talking to Connor, second person eliminated from Ascendance Live Season 3. Connor, what's up, man? How have you been since the game?
I've been good. I've been good, I've been hanging in there, living life, back to the old thrift store life. So I've been hanging in there and everything's been good.
So, do you work at a thrift store?
Yes.
Nice. Um, but glad to hear everything's going good, and I'm excited to talk to you about like your journey, in Ascendance Live.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So Connor obviously didn't want to go out this early, right? How how did it feel, going in and playing the live game? I know you played a couple times online, but how did it like kind of how was it different?
It's definitely different. Ascendance the org has like stated that it's like the ultimate social game, and it's 10 times more elevated when you're in a live setting. It's a very social forward game, and the sentence is like it's online version, same in the real life version. So it's much different when you're in rooms with 18 other people and you're just like, "What's up?" And you're all like, "It's you're no longer hiding behind a screen. You're seeing these people in real life, and it's definitely different. It's a different setting, and some people can adapt to it well, some people it takes time, but it's much different. And I played a couple live games before Ascendance Live, so I knew kind of what the beast was. But Ascendance itself is just it's a lot, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you think that you going to back eliminations was it like if you hadn't gone to back eliminations, say one of the rounds you were safe, do you think you would have been able to get your footing a little bit better?
I think it's possible. I think, it depends, right? Because like my name was out there the very first round, as we all saw. If like I survive, if, let's say my team wins the running challenge and I don't go, but let's say I go to the third elimination, it's possible that my name could still be the name, So it's tough. I think I think like I would have needed to prolong the first time I got elimination a little bit more. If that was the case, then maybe like get my footing a little bit more. I don't know. I think once your name's out there, it's so easy for people just to jump on it again. So once my name was out the first round, it was tough.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the first round. You were on a team with Adam, who was eventually eliminated from the game first. And it seemed like you didn't want to vote him out because you were close. You guys had like a bond of some sort. But the chaos of Keaton kind of took over the round, and it came to be your name was out there along with Keaton's. Did you ever get clarity on like where your name kind of originally came out from?
Not really. And I was hoping to get it from the episode, but like it seemed like it was just like I've heard Connor, and so I think I was standing out like originally. Like when you have a group of people, there's always gonna be someone that stands out for whatever reason. I think I was immediately that person for all the wrong reasons. So like it's tough. I think I never really got clarity of where it came from. I think it was just so easy for her to jump on me and just so easy for my name, like easy, so easy for my name to be out there. And I think I could have done a better job of fitting in a bit more and talking a bit more. And maybe if I do that a little bit better, it's not as easy to like say my name.
Yeah, no. Do you think that like being in the elimination both times with Keaton was not great for you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it wasn't great. I mean, the first elimination, like, it was a mess. The second elimination was also a mess. I think, I'll say this about like Keaton as a whole. A great person. I love him outside of games. In games, it's like oil and water. It just collides. And it's different when you play a game. Like certain people you can mesh with outside of a game. For certain people, when you're in a game with them, it's like two rocks just beating against each other. So, it definitely was rough. Both times going with Keaton and just, what can I say? He outplayed me. So,
why do you think it's so tough, you and Keaton being in the game? Like, why do you think that you guys kind of butt heads a little bit,
um, I
game
think
wise?
like game wise, I think it's because like I think we can be a bit similar at times. And when there's like when you like when you're so similar, I'm not saying we're exactly the same game player. I wanted to be more laid back. I think he kind of wanted to, but I felt like maybe he felt like he was forced to be more aggressive. But I think it's just our personalities, I guess, are kind of similar, but like there's that difference as well. So it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know. That's the best I can answer that one.
Yeah. Because at the top of the strategy portion of this past episode where you're eliminated, you are in a room with Keaton,
Mm.
and somebody says Sarah's name.
Mm.
Who did that?
Yeah. Who did that?
Yeah, because I don't know if it was clear.
So basically, what happened was, regarding that elimination, right after the challenge, you got a group of people. Now I don't remember who was on that group of people. It's all a bit fuzzy, but I would say it's about 4 people, 4 to 5 people, and Josh immediately says Sarah's name. It was kind of like pinpointed in the episode a little bit. He basically his reasoning was kind of like, there's 2 people that haven't. We all kind of went to last elimination together. There's 2 people here that didn't go to last elimination with us. It's easy just to throw one of them out there. And then right after that conversation, I get pulled in the room with Keaton, and Keaton's like, Connor, we're gonna do this. We're cool. We're not gonna say each other's names. We're gonna rock and roll. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And he's like, have you heard anything? And then I was like, I was tentative to say anything. I was like, I don't want to say anything here, but like, I was like, I think at that point I didn't say anything. And then we got in a room together again, and that was that scene you saw where we're in a room together again. And then at that point, he had also heard it, Sarah's name, I guess. So that's why I said I'm down to do Sarah if you are, because I was like, we both heard it. If you're down doing that, I'm fine doing that. That's kind of the origin of that. I was not the first to say Sarah's name. Going right, I love Sarah. I was not the first one to say Sarah's name. I don't think I was the first to say any names, but I was kind of more of so it was kind of more of a thing of like we both heard this. If it's not us, if you want to, I'll do it. It was more of a sense of that.
And then when did it? Because obviously, as we see the episode play out, it becomes all right. Which one of you two started the Sarah name? Even
Mm,
though it's probably Josh who did it, it
mm,
became all right. Connor and Keaton's names are out in the open. Which one started the Sarah train?
mm.
Because that's the one that's going to get eliminated, pretty much.
Yeah,
Would you say that's safe to assume that's what happened?
yeah. I would say that's safe to assume what that's pretty much what happened. Yeah.
And so, like, looking back at the episode and seeing, you go from that conversation with Keaton to like moments later, Keaton is now saying that you said Sarah's name. Did that just was that just as tough to watch?
Yeah, it was. It was very tough to watch. I think I give credit to Keaton though. I think a big reason why, he was able to get that vote on me and stay is because I think he realized a little quicker than I did that Sarah wasn't going to work and that it was going to be me or him. And he was able to be like, okay, if it's me or Connor, boom. And he jumped on that very quickly, where I think it took me a little more time to like realize that like, oh, it's me versus Keaton. So I think he got the jump on me. And once Keaton gets the jump on you, he's very fast with it. So,
Yeah, and then you do put up a huge fight at the very end there during like the eliminate like the actual sit down vote period.
mm.
Um, at that point, did you think like shit, there's nothing, I'm just gonna throw anything at the wall right here?
So basically, what happened with that is like we're walking elimination. I look at Josh. I say, Josh, do I have a shot? And he looks at me. He gives me a look, and I'm like, I don't have a shot. I gotta throw stuff at a wall and see what sticks. Like I just could tell by the look on his face it was not good. So I had to like go into fight or flight mode. I do regret it. I feel like, I want to be the type player that doesn't give up at the same time. It was hard to watch back. I feel like it kind of got like heated a little bit and back and forth. And I don't want to like, it's one thing to fight for your life, but I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable with like an argument or like anyone around me to feel like bad about or like don't want to be there. So I do regret a little bit. I had to like tell my girlfriend, like, okay, this is the episode I don't need you to watch. Let's just not watch this episode and we're good to go. And she's like, why not? And I'm like, well, I just don't want you to see it. It's all good, but just don't watch this episode. So it was, not my I don't regret putting up a fight and not giving up, but like, I do kind of wish, it was a bit cleaner, more concise. And I think my emotions got a little bit of the best of me. And I do apologize to anyone in the cast who I made uncomfortable with that.
Listen, I thought you were just fighting for your life.
Mhm.
All fair in game and war, whatever the saying is.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to ask you at that elimination, there's a couple people that looking back, it seemed like they were like tinkering on the fact of voting out Keaton. And those people being CJ being one of them, Josh being another one, because I thought that Josh had a good relationship with you. And it seemed like he was kind of open to potentially voting out Keaton. Did you get the sense that some of these people were like potentially thinking about voting out Keaton, or did you not get that sense at all?
In the middle of it, it seemed like I had a chance. And then by the end of it, it was like, okay, there's no chance. So like in the middle of it, I was like, there's a chance here, and I was, and then I wish I would have spoken more to people about like the reasoning why I wanted to get rid of Keaton instead of at the elimination. Because when you spring load all the information like at the elimination, it's a little too late. Whereas if I would like tinker that in with conversation and been more assertive and been like, my reasoning and like why, certain, my big pitch to like why, you get rid of Keaton instead of me is like, I think people wanted to keep Keaton because shield. That's a big reason. But I think it's also something to think about is the point of a shield is someone in front of you that will take the blow, but it's also someone reliable. You want a reliable shield. You don't want a shield that's gonna like turn on you. And that was kind of my pitch. Was like, you want a shield, I get it. I can be a shield too. My name's probably gonna be out there if we get elimination again. That's someone that can go probably before you. But I think I'm more reliable than Keaton, who's first round kind of was all over the place. I wish if I would have like campaigned on that a little bit more and like told that to people and like I wish I didn't have to throw it all at the last minute. I wish I could have like diced it in a little bit throughout my pitches.
Yeah, now you explain that now would compel me if I were in the situation voting to keep you.
Oh, thank you.
But watching the episode, I would have voted out Keaton anyway, even if you didn't explain that.
Thank you.
You're welcome for what it's worth. So you're eliminated here unanimously. You're the second person eliminated. You go into the pre-jury house, I guess, with Adam. How is that? Was Adam a little salty?
I think anyone who gets eliminated early has every right to be a little salty. So, I was a little salty too. I'm not gonna lie. So I think it's all warranted, however we feel, especially when you're like the first two boots. So, he was a little upset, but I think he has every right to be, and I think I had every right to be too. I mean, so, the first thing the first thing he said to me was like, "Why did you vote for me?" And I was like, because at that point he doesn't know like who saved him. He just knows he has one vote to save. So I was like, he just assumed I did, which he assumed correctly. So I was like, yeah, sorry, man. And he was like, yeah, it's all good. And we hung out and we chilled. So it was nice. I understood why he was upset, but we were able to have a good time nonetheless. So.
Yeah, that's good. So I guess my last question before I give you the floor, if there's anything else that you want to talk about, is what was like your favorite part of the experience?
Um, My favorite part, like the competitions were so fun. Like I love competitions and I love just competing and seeing how I can do. My favorite part of out of 10.1 thing was outrunning Joshua Duenas. He's the best buddy of mine, but I'm gonna say something. He goes to the gym and posts on his Snapchat, him going to the gym is like, I'm getting fit. And to outrun someone that goes to the gym when I never go to the gym, I'm like, dude, work on your cardio. Come on now. I was able to outrun him. You saw him. He was like walking at some point. He was like I have to con him a little bit for that. We're bros, so I have to. But outrunning him in that comp made me feel so good. I was like, this little twerp's got it. So
Did you throw up at all after that?
no.
Not
You
once.
saw if you pay not once, if you pay attention, like after the comp, everyone is like laying down. There's one clip, it's like 2 seconds. Everyone's laying down panting, and then I'm just standing in the corner like I'm chill. I mean, I was tired, but I wasn't like on the ground. Like, "Ugh." I think I was for a little bit, but I got up before anyone else, which I think says something about my, willingness to compete. So,
Were you surprised with your own cardio?
I mean, a little bit. Like, I mean, I know I can run. I mean, I'm used to running away from my bullies, my problems, my demons. So I can run a little bit. So, I'm used to running in my mind. So I was like, I can run a little bit. I'm no, Billy Stevens or Rocky, but I can hold my own a little bit.
Connor, are you saying when you were in that competition, you were running away from some demons?
It felt like everyone's out to get me, man. I had to run somewhere.
Um, Connor, those are all the questions I have for you regarding the
Okay.
Ascendance Live season 3. But if there's anything else that you want to talk about that we haven't covered up to this point, now's the time to do so.
I do want to like defend myself a little bit with the
Sure.
first round. I know I heard a lot of critiques about the black team strategy of the first round. I just want to defend myself a little bit on my point of view on that. A
I
lot of
will
people
say
were
I thought the black team strategy was very bad. So go ahead, defend it.
okay. This gives me an uphill battle, but I'm willing to try. I think it's very important to look at each person's perspective. My perspective and why the black team sticking together and like people were like the biggest critique I got was like why didn't the black team put up a fight and make it go like a stalemate. And I think for a lot of reasons for my game the big reason is in order to have a stalemate you need willing participants. I can see how nervous Keaton was already getting. If you have a stalemate there, from my perspective, and you have to rely on someone like Keaton, who's kind of all over the place, to stand his ground. Okay, we're not going to vote each other. We're going to vote one of them and have a stalemate. Number one, you're putting in the hand of the captains. Okay, and it's not just 8 people at elimination; it's 10. You have to think about the captain. So you're putting you could stalemate it and still go home because of 2 captains. You also look at it as, do you have willing participants to stalemate? Keaton was willing to like vote me immediately. If I if I go into elimination and we all have a huddle and say we're gonna do this, we're not gonna vote each other. Adam, Erica, Keaton, we're not gonna vote each other. We're gonna stalemate this. It allows someone to be the swing. It allows Keaton to be the swing if he wants, and it seems like he was willing to flip. If you show you're not flexible, it makes people not have a hard time working with you. I wanted to be as flexible as possible. Like, yeah, I can do this, I can do this. If I put up a wall and say I'm not doing this, this, and this, but I have someone that's willing to do this, this, and this, what's stopping Keen from being like, I'm willing to flip. You need me. Let me decide to vote. I won't hunt. What's stopping that? So from my perspective, it was like, you know, do we have willing participants here to be willing to stalemate this? I was paying attention to people's body language. I was like, I don't think so. So that's why I was kind of like, let me just kind of prove loyalty to this other team, show that I'm flexible, and hope for the best. And to be fair, I didn't get any votes. My name was out there, but I didn't get any votes. So that was my perspective on why I felt like stalemating that elimination from the black team, wasn't necessarily gonna work.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I can agree that if it was going to be a stalemate, you wanted to be on the other team for that because Keaton's little, you know, chaotic energy would make me nervous as well if I were in your position.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I,
I think
I
what
love to keep. I love keep, but that's just my
we love,
perspective.
he brings the TV.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, but I think what people's gripes were was that it seemed like, and talking to Adam, it seems like you guys did have a conversation at one point as a team to not vote for each other at one point.
Hmm. So that's a little fuzzy for me. I'll be honest. I think it's possible that we did. My anxiety was through the roof. I don't necessarily remember that. If it was conversation, it was a very brief conversation. And if we
You
did
could say it
that,
was
and
brief.
if we did, yeah, and if we did have that brief conversation and that was a thing, you saw how quickly it went to crap. And a big reason why it went to crap, you know, I think you can say it might have been Keaton willing to do anything. So I think, I think my argument there still kind of stands, especially if the proof's in the pudding with Keaton, being willing to. He just wanted to survive, and we all want to survive. So,
Yeah, at that point, I think like round one, if it's not you, it's a
mhm.
long game, and the teams change every
Yeah,
round. Although the round that changed for you was not much of a change. A lot of the same people went to the same elimination.
yeah. I would have liked to get some new people at elimination. But it's part of the sentence. Pick teams, and that's part of the game. And I think it's how it rolls. So I can't be mad at the format. I can only be mad at how I did. I think I could have done a lot better. So if I'm
Well,
ever
listen,
given a second chance, I'm doing a lot of things differently. I'll tell you that much.
that's a great pivot point, Connor. If you were asked back, what would you do differently?
I don't want to give all my secrets away, but
You don't
like
have to. You don't have to.
I will say, like I'm I'm gonna like if I'm given a second opportunity, I'm gonna prepare more socially in my real life. Like I need to get more comfortable in my own skin. I need to like do some soul searching and get more comfortable. Like I think a player like me, you go out early or you make it far. I've proven that. The last live game I played before this one, I got second place. So
Congrats.
it's either thank you. It's either go home early or go really far. And I think I need to like get more comfortable with myself, work on my social game, work on like being comfortable around a lot of people. And I would definitely try to play a bit more aggressively and not as passively. I want my voice to be heard a bit more. I want to be more assertive. Assertiveness is something I've always struggled with, so I want to be work on that and be more assertive. I think if I was more assertive during the strategizing process, who knows how that could turn out for me a second time. So, you gotta keep the door open. Even if they don't call, the door's open. So
Doors always open, and if you do get the opportunity, I will be happy to watch you play again and comment on it.
thank you. Thank you.
Connor, thank you so much as always, for doing the exit interview and playing Ascendance again.
It was a blast. My third time playing. Third time wasn't the charm this time, but I'll take it. I'll take it.